Hey everybody, I'm making a short video today talking about the forearm and the elbow. So before we get to the elbow, we have to start with the arm bone, the humerus. And we're not thinking about the shoulder end today, we're thinking about the distal end, this spool-like end here called the trochlea that articulates with more the ulna than the radius, the two arm bones of the forearm, the radius and ulna. And let's look at just the ulna here. You can see how this big mouth, this kind of looks like a big mouth of a snake or something, or like a big wrench, and it fits right in there. And the ulna is here. It's the one that you can feel all the way from this big notch here, which is the olecranon process, this big notch here. It's right here on your elbow, and it goes all the way here. You can feel it all the way to the end here, the little styloid process. You can actually see it on my body, this bump here. The radius is actually buried under these muscles here. You can see it at the distal end on its styloid process. So I'll see if I can hold them up to the camera all together here. Let's see, I'll go off this way so you can see these. You can see that the radius doesn't really articulate at the elbow. And at the other end, this is where the hand comes in, the wrist bones here would be more at the radius. The radius has the big end here, the wide end at the end, at the distal end by the hand, for the hand, because it's the radius that really articulates with the hand, and the ulna that really articulates at the elbow. And they articulate with each other. The radius actually, let's see if I can do this here, the radius pivots at the proximal end over the ulna. So you have a pivot joint here, and then at the distal end too, only it brings the hand with it, and so it crosses over the ulna. So then we have the pronation and supination. In supination, those bones are parallel to each other. And in pronation, the radius on the thumb side actually, at the distal end, it actually crosses over. It takes the hand with it. And all of these together, the flexion and extension that happen at the elbow, the pronation and supination, and then of course all of the wonderful motions that can happen at the wrist, flexion, extension, and adduction and abduction, or radial and ulnar deviation, combined with, of course, everything that we can do with the fingers and thumbs to give us these amazing hands that can do so much, from their original positioning of the shoulder, the elbow, the forearm, wrist, fingers and thumb. There's a lot going on there to give us the amazing abilities that we have with our hands. So I hope that was interesting. Let's look at just a few little landmarks on here again. We've got with the ulna, again, we've got the olecranon process. If you flip it around, this little bit here is called the coronoid process. And that's the insertion point for an important muscle called the brachialis muscle. It's a deep muscle on the arm that crosses over and again enables it to flex. If we look at the radius at its proximal end here, it has this little flat spot here, and that's called the radial tuberosity, and it's the insertion point for another important muscle in the arm on the humerus called the Biceps Brachii. And it actually skips the humerus and goes all the way from above it at the shoulder to here, but it crosses those two joints. And of course, as it's crossing the elbow, again, it's an important flexor of the elbow. So both Biceps Brachii and brachialis are working at the elbow joint to brachialis is inserting on the ulna, and biceps brachii inserting on the radius to help together flex that elbow joint. So hope that helps in your understanding a little bit of that area of the body. Thanks.